Welcome to Story Route Zero.
This is a podcast where friends gather to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the strange worlds of video games. We often don't know where we're going, but that's half the fun. Come on the journey with us. Hit us up on Twitter at StoryRoute0. You can send us an email at StoryRoute0@gmail.com. That includes questions, concerns, comments, complaints, pet pics. Send us some recipes. Send us some stories about your day. We're going to listen.
Podcast, start your engines. We have liftoff. Let's have a journey.
Pretty little thing, let me light your candle, cause mama, I'm so hard to handle now. Welcome to Story Route 0, episode 54. My name is Matthew Keel. That was the late, great Otis Redding. Hard to handle, covered by the Black Crows. Significantly lesser version. Black Crows suck, just saying. I brought a couple of, or three friends with me, not a couple. That's a few, I believe. And we're going to talk about some video games, maybe, probably some other stuff. And hopefully, I'm not on call this week, so hopefully I will be here the entire show. Currently getting buried, but still down to smash. It's Michaela the Masshole. How are you?
I ain't no masshole. I'm a transplant masshole. I ain't from here.
Still
I'm
a
just snowed in
masshole.
here.
You're a masshole like that voice is from the South. How you doing, Moose?
Doing well, man. Doing well.
And representing the armpit, Jersey. How are you, Jason?
Damn.
Yeah, good.
I'm just, I feel like every time I do that, I try and rib you guys a little bit. I think I'm a little bit closer to being like, Matt, you don't need to come back for next episode. I'll take your silence as agreement, and that kind of hurts a little bit. How was everybody's weekend?
Going well. It went well.
What's this remove from chat feature? Oh,
I mean, fair, totally fair. It's been a weird year for me, and I'm a little punchy. But how is everybody?
You're currently buried in 1.5 feet of snow.
Yeah, just about. Michaela, how was your weekend?
It was good, I think. I can never, literally, it's every Monday night. I can never remember what I did over the weekend.
Which is like literally the day before and the day before that.
I know I was here because I can't be anywhere else.
I mean, sometimes Mondays just be like that, where it's just all of a sudden the weekend is erased and you're just buried under whatever the week has started to bring you.
Yeah, if you have 4 or 5 meetings on a Monday, the whole weekend gets deleted. So that might have been what happened. But I was here, I worked out. I know I played video games, and I adulted a little bit, as the millennials say. My roommate and I talked about our plans for post Den of Centipedes, because we're looking to move this late spring.
Nice. Getting that ball rolling. That'll be nice.
Post Dentipedes?
Den of Centipedes.
Dentipedes? Come
that
on, I'm
sounds
trying.
Like dentist, which is also
No, we're not giving it to you. No.
Fine.
I was like, I will correct him every time he says it until he stops.
Moose is like, Michaela, I'm sick of his bullshit too.
No, it's not that. It's just, it wasn't even good. When they're funny, I'm like, okay, all right. That one was just really bad. That was like really reaching. But anyways.
Okay. All right, fine.
That was worse than my medium joke.
But
no,
that
your
was
medium
funny,
joke.
though.
Your medium joke was good. I was just like, someone's got to do this. I know Jason has it. So what are you thinking post Den of Centipedes?
Well, we were talking about whether or not A, we wanted to live together again, because we hadn't even had that discussion yet, and then B,
fair.
Had to do the practical, what are your finances, because they wanted do like what your monthly income times X amount to calculate the rent, all that stuff. Looking into getting a third room, maybe a third bedroom, a 3-bedroom apartment if we can swing it. So that, and I would take on the cost of the extra room because I want an office instead of this desk that faces my bed all day and my boss be looking at where I sleep and it's disturbing at night and I just stare at my computer. I'm like, is the camera on? And I don't know it.
Fair.
That'd be nice.
Fair.
Someplace that doesn't have centipedes or stained floors or old bathtubs. So basically somewhere new and not ratchet would be nice, because this was like we got out of college and needed to play a place we could afford, and now we would like to go someplace that's like, oh, I'm not embarrassed for people to know I live here.
Yeah.
When we talked about like towns, features that are must have versus would like to have, stuff like that.
So based on this, I'm guessing you have decided to continue this union of sorts?
Yes, although I told Jess that by the time I'm 30, I'm not going to be living with my college roommate anymore. So it's only going to be another year or two. Because then I would like, it's a goal of mine to be living independently in my 30s and not,
That's understandable, but that's going to be a sad moment.
It is a sad moment, but it's got to happen eventually.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Got to grow up sometime.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still working on it.
I mean, it's a lot harder than it looks.
All right, new goal for 2021. Grow up a little bit in my 40s.
Between that and backlogs, we're doomed, Moose. Jason, you're real quiet. How was your weekend? What happened?
Adulted a little as well.
Cool.
We went couch shopping.
Ooh, new couch.
All right.
Nice. Or an additional couch.
I guess it's an additional because we're moving the old one to another room.
Okay.
So kind of like just getting one so you can put that somewhere else and have like
yeah. And corralling 2 children around the store is like Jess was talking to the lady while she was making the purchase. So Aria wanted to go explore. So Amelia is obviously following her, and I'm like, oh God, don't touch everything. Don't touch everything. Don't touch everything.
And they end up in the beds. They're like, Dad, I like this bed. And they're jumping on it. Yeah.
She's like, can we get a bunk bed? I'm like, no.
Yep.
You don't need to be on anything higher than your height.
It's true.
Fair.
Children and furniture are fun. Sure. Like earlier before the show, I heard this loud crash, and normally it's just like, well, actually it was normal. It was just like, what the hell was that? But then we didn't really follow up. I was going in the living room, and I realized our coffee table has these drawers that they can slide both ways in the coffee table. And Amelia apparently pushed one completely out, and that's what crashed. It fell out, and there was crap everywhere.
Well, at least she didn't get hurt, so that's a plus.
Yeah, she pushed it away from her, so.
Yeah. Instead of pulling it on top of her. Like, she's screaming as she's buried under a drawer.
Wouldn't be the first time. And I
almost want to hear that story, but
and I wrote my 3rd review of the week.
Oh yeah?
Came out
What's
today.
your 3rd one?
Habroxia 2. A shoot 'em
Okay.
Shmup.
What'd you think?
It's always a good thing.
I like it.
Shmup.
I'm a big fan of the shmup genre.
Shmups are fun.
Just keep saying shmup because Michaela can't contain herself.
Actually, I wasn't even like, what? Michaela doesn't like the shmup?
I don't know. She thinks
it's just.
What's your problem with the shmup, Michaela?
You know how for some people the highest form of humor is puns? I really can't take it with funny words.
It is a funny word.
What was on that to-do list about growing up? Shmup. No, I enjoyed it.
I mean,
I
can't knock the shmup.
The
It's my
shmup.
favorite Jay-Z song.
I hear it's an easy platinum if you get it on PlayStation. But
Nice.
I played on Switch. So 3 good games this week, 3 reviews.
Not bad.
Yeah. Your Skull, the Hero Slayer,
Oh,
and then
and Dead Cells DLC.
Dead Cells DLC. And is that their final DLC this time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what that studio does next.
Well,
Because I know that's only half of that's like half of Motion.
Yeah,
right?
this was Evil Empire, which took over DLC.
The DLC.
Me.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the main guys have been working on something
Yeah,
since,
they've
which is
been
good.
working on something.
Nice.
Well, and while I haven't experienced DLC, like between what Jason has said about both sets of it, as well as what other people have said, like it's clear that Evil Empires has some chops. So
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see what they do. Moose, how was your weekend?
It's good. I did some adulting too. Help finalize. Well, I had to do some legwork of my own to finalize the refinance, but we went couch shopping too. That was not. It was like 5 minutes in a store, and then it's like we're probably gonna have to go somewhere else on a less busy day to go look. And I'm just like, can never be easy. Can never be easy.
Mm-mm.
But other than that, weekend was good. So yeah,
Cool. All right, so we did some adulting as well, but then we that was just like food shopping, and then I'm actually going to break the rule here because I'm going to say some things about games. Reba and I started playing a fighting game, and
Not a shmup.
not a shmup. This is. I mean, I can't really make a fighting game a funny word.
One.
So we started playing, and the anime cred on this title is amazing. Under Night in Birth EXE : late bracket ST close bracket. I don't know what any of that means, other than the fact that I've seen gameplay of that game and I'm like, that looks fun. And because I had a GameStop gift card given to me for Christmas, I got a used copy and decided to play that a few weeks ago with a friend, Julian, who I've talked about before here. But anyway, the prior week, Reba and I'm always looking for things to co-op with Reba, and she's like, I sometimes it'll be a puzzler, sometimes it'll be like just a platformer. But she's always said that one of the things she likes to do when she's playing games is make sure she looks like she's fucking shit up. So I'm like, all right, what games fuck shit up more than just about any other game? A fighter.
Yeah.
So I figure, a 2D fighter, anime based. It's a long shot, but I played a match. She's like, I'll try this. We were playing for 4 hours, y'all. Back and forth to the point where we both found our mains and like our secondaries. And I watched her kind of do a whole bunch of gamer things that she didn't, that, people don't really think about in terms, because most people, when you say like gamer, it's just like, oh, I love Call of Duty. But she was actually like, when you get in close to me, I have no answer for that. I have to learn how to strategize around that. So all of a sudden she starts doing the thing I love about video games the most, which is like, it's a constant
strategy.
It's a constant stream of puzzle solving. And she was trying to figure out how to deal with me coming at her. Well, long story short, Reba is very good with phone on in this game. And I am very good with Lynn in this game. Now, Lynn is a female hoodie with a knife and a big executioner sword, in a knife in one hand, big executioner. Like, she's like the Abyss Watchers from Bloodborne or from Dark Souls 3. It's kind of my jam. She's super fast. Phone on has headphones on. Surprise. She has striped leg.
Phone on.
And she has a snake that becomes a whip. So yeah. But we had an absolute ball. And whenever we would try a character and we'd be like, this character sucks, it almost seemed like the other person would try it and beat the other person. So like if I'm like, oh, fuck this character, Reba would pick him and beat me with him several times. And then, I would do the same thing for her. We had like a little back and forth going. She's like, this is really fun. I never thought I'd like this. And so, yeah. So my wife is a fighting gamer now. And
nice.
She will be at EVO inside of 2 years. I guarantee. No, it's not going to happen. But,
Smash Brothers.
But
what?
I'm finally. I have finally decided to make good. This is another form of adulting. I am making good on my. Reba's cousins, twin sons, have been talking smack to me, about fucking Smash Brothers, and I've decided that I'm going to get good and beat the pants off.
You're making good on your duty.
I am an adult.
To smack down all children challengers. Okay, I had to do it with Mario Kart. You're gonna do it with Smash, and I'm gonna introduce Smash to my niece and nephew next time.
Awesome.
I see you.
And now I just have to get people that know how to play Smash and teach me how to be good. But yeah, so. That was a lot of weekend.
Did you play anything else?
I mean, I did actually. If you want to talk about that,
why don't you go? So, would you play? This week.
I kind of want to just go a while because I couldn't say like half of my shit last week because I got called into work. But played some Monster Hunter.
Nice.
Working on the quest after Nergigante, doing some setting up camps, and I'm basically towards the end of the story in Monster Hunter World, and then I'm basically plowing towards
base game. Oh, you're plowing towards Iceborne.
I'm plowing towards Iceborne, so I can do all that. I did get 2 platinums. I platinumed both versions of Persona 4 Dancing All Night on PS4 and Vita, and I want to say that stepping out of my comfort zone into a rhythm game is like into a controller-based rhythm game, because like I've done like Rock Band and Guitar Hero previously. I played DDR in arcades because you kind of had to at some point. But controller-based rhythm games are something I've just never done. And doing that was actually a lot of fun to be with the Persona 4 characters again. And seeing like gameplay of that, it presents itself like it's going to some weird places, but everything is very much like being at a DDR cabinet, but without being at a DDR cabinet, because the characters both on screen and off screen are being super encouraging when you do well. Instead of saying you suck when you mess up, they're just like, hey, just regroup, take a breath. You got this, keep going. And it was really nice. All the animations are flawlessly presented. And, I like the fact that in that particular game, they don't use a lot of the original Persona 4 songs. Like they're in there, but they're almost all remixes. Like Heartbeat Heartbreak is definitely a remix. Your Affection is all remixed. They have a couple of new songs that are really good. I think the main opening theme dance is just it's a straight, if you like ABBA, there's no way you should not like that. It is definitely a disco banger in this millennium, and it's amazing. There's also, I don't know how to say the title of the song that's in the credits, but I think it's like Calistea. I think that's it. But it's all in Japanese, but it's almost like if the mid 80s C86 scene decided to do some Studio 54 dance music, and that game is fun to play. It's fun to listen to. and it's actually super awesome to look at. Its presentation is amazing. I love that you'll just, if you have a chance to like look at the screen when you're not trying to make sure you're on rhythm, you'll see whatever character is the main character dancing, but then it's not always the arena behind them. Like it'll be like, I want to call them green screen flashes because that's what my film background tells me they are, but I don't really know how it translates to video game, but that's what I'm going for. And all of that is just wonderful. And I can't wait to do the Persona 3 one and Persona 5 one and see what goes on there. Now, the soundtracks for those were not released with that Persona soundtracked up, so I'm assuming it's probably all just recycled music, which fine. That's fine. Not everything has to be, remade and
new.
Yeah. Also, I did some game club game co-op with Reba. Both of us have some thoughts about that, but I'll save that for when it's appropriate. And I think I can wrap up there. Otherwise, I'm just going to bore you. Other than that, I've been playing a lot of Smash Brothers, trying to get better at that and unlock characters. I unlocked Zero Suit Samus today and felt real good about it. I'm trying to make Joker my main, and I don't know how it's going because I haven't played a human yet. I've only played the computer. And I lose quite a bit because I keep forgetting how chaotic those stupid stages are. But I'm going to get good, I promise. Michaela.
Me. I only really played one game besides my backlog game.
That's fine.
Final Fantasy 12.
I talked a lot.
Really? You think?
Wait. Were you like hoodwinking us? Now you've actually been playing Melody of Memory?
No, it was FF12.
See, I called it because she's trying to work through the game to be able to discuss it.
Yep. Well, originally we were supposed to record that RPGU episode this week, but it just today got bumped to a couple weeks out from now. So now looking like 2.5 weeks away, which is fine because I don't need to rebeat the game to go talk about it on the show. I just needed to play enough of the Zodiac Age version to be able to talk about it competently in terms of tips for players, navigating the job system and the progression. And it does technically change stuff. The Zodiac Age version versus the PS2 version, it changes stuff beyond just the job system, which I've explained on previous episodes. It does also rebalance some stuff, change a couple, there was one really annoying thing where one of the better weapons in the game, which is called the Zodiac Spear, in the original PS2 version of the game, there were 4 chests in the game. Unassuming, not marked, just 4 chests in 4 set locations, like one on the Fawn Coast, one on Ravenaster. And if you opened any of those 4 chests that weren't labeled and nobody told you not to open them, you locked yourself out of the Zodiac Spear. They got rid of that for the Zodiac Age version. Stuff like that they did fix. Some stuff is just rebalanced in terms of enemies, things like that. I feel like I've been spanking the shit out of this game. I don't know if it's because I know the game so well or because I'm a better gamer than when I was 12 or because they rebalanced some of this shit, but I've been kicking the teeth out of everything.
Good. It's great to feel powerful. I love it.
Yeah, that's kind of the best part. The best part of playing a good JRPG is being overpowered at the end because you did all the, if you are a JRPG player, you play a lot of them, you tend to proactively grind so you don't ever get stuck too hard at a difficulty spike and have to grind for a long time in one spot. I proactively thoroughly explore every area, do loops for a little bit of XP and loot money grinding. So that it's spread out throughout the playthrough. And so you end up being a little ahead of level, not too drastically by the end, but part of it is also the quickening system can kind of break the game a little bit. Not so much for the side content. The side content is a lot harder than the main story in FF12. There's a lot of optional bosses that will destroy you, make you cry and send you home to your mama. But the main story guys aren't too bad. And the quickening system is this Final Fantasy's version of Overdrive's pretty much a lot of the Final Fantasies, not every, but most of them since, I don't know, like 7 at least, have overdrives. And in this version, what you do is you have mist gauges. You can unlock up to 3 for everybody. And your mist gauges either allow you to summon or start a quickening chain. And then it's a quick time event where you have 4 seconds and the clock keeps ticking down, where you chain different overdrives from different characters that can be level 1, 2, or 3 overdrives. And it's random what appears. So there's a little bit of RNG and luck involved, which kind of sucks. But if you pull off an area of effect chain, you kind of just blow up everything that's on the screen and destroy it until it's gone, which can be nice when you're just trying to grind through the story. And at this point, I am about 80% through the main story of FF12. There's a ton of side stuff that I haven't touched. I've done like half of the hunts, which are like optional side quest boss type things. There's some really esoteric, like, this game has aged very well. I've said this before. It aged well visually, in terms of the mechanics, the gameplay, the sound. Everything has aged fairly well for a 15-year-old late PS2 gen game, except for the side quest material. So besides the hunts, which you can like, there's like bills that get posted for like, please come here, ask me, I'll tell you to go hunt this monster and give you money and rewards for it. And then you get a clan rank for doing a certain number of hunts.
I just want to say I like the idea of a poster being like posted saying, "Come see me, and I'll tell you to go hunt on something." I really want that to be said verbatim somewhere.
Not quite, but it gets pretty close.
Okay.
Because like there's some where the clan leader is the one who gives you the hunt, and he's like, and the poster of the bill is none other than me.
Wow.
And it's a little Moogle.
That's
which
funny.
is great. So other than the
Friggin'
hunts, the side quests are super esoteric. There's no way to track them. There's no like quest log in your menu. They don't really, like, they'll give you an indication of where to go or who to talk to, but it's usually super vague. And since there's no way to track it, you kind of don't remember. And sometimes you might accidentally sell an item that you don't know that you need for this late game quest. It's a PS2 gen game, and it really only shows in the side quest design, in that it is not user-friendly, new player-friendly at all. Not in the least. But otherwise, the game has aged super well.
Okay.
So, yes, I am getting, like I said, I'm about 80% of the way through the story. I played for about 42 to 45-ish hours. So that includes doing some side content. Like, technically, you can probably beat this game in about 40 hours. So maybe I will beat it before that podcast, but East 9 comes out tomorrow. Amazon's saying my copy won't be here tomorrow. It's in Connecticut now. It says arriving Wednesday. So we shall see what happens, what the future holds.
Cool. I look forward to your class at RPG University.
I have some good tips queued up.
Jason, Moose has blinked out for a moment, so you're up.
Well, I had beaten Skull, still played a few more runs. Fun game. Dead Cells DLC came out, Bad Seed. Played that, beat it a couple times. Didn't collect all the weapons. Probably need a couple more runs.
Mm-hmm.
For those interested, it takes place after the first boss. So that's where it's included in the game. The last DLC was an alternative to the first boss. This is after the first boss.
Okay.
Cool.
It adds like there's like 3 or 4 branching paths before each boss. It's absurd how many different routes you can take now.
I love that they did it that way rather than like tacking it on or making it like another loop or something like that.
Yeah. I think it's better because then you can experience it or you can miss it, but it's there. It's not like, so it's not just for end game players. You could start the game today and experience it, which is cool. I mentioned Abraxia, played that, beat that. Working on my newest review, Cyber Shadow.
Ooh.
Came out last week.
Yeah.
This is it's a little Ninja Gaiden, a little Mega Man, and a little Metroid. All
nice.
One-man team, too.
And we're going to call it a messenger-like. At this point, that's how everyone seems to be referring to it. I don't think messenger like has been said yet. So, but
I think it's a little different than it. It has the difficulty of the old school NES games. I don't think comparing to Messenger, it's definitely harder.
Okay.
One Man Team was published by Yacht Club, but apparently all they did was give him feedback. You could take it or leave it, but
which is cool.
He did. I think he was assisted with the music at the end, but I think the game was pretty much finished by the time they joined with him.
Okay.
They really just. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I really like that story where it's like, Yacht Club publishes a generational indie darling in Shovel Knight, and they're like, hey, you got a good thing, we want to publish it. I really respect that. At least I hope that's how it went down. But that's
and I think it's their first published game, actually.
Yeah. Other than because I think Way Forward published Shovel Knight, right?
I believe so.
I think so.
I don't remember.
He did a write up. The guy who developed the game on PlayStation Blog.
Yeah. About
his story. So that was pretty cool to read.
Yeah, he got his start by hacking ROMs on PC. He would change, improve graphic on old games.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, and of course my backlog game and our game club game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moose.
Been playing a lot. So finally I've got 2 gods, their powers and immortals, which is good. So I just wrapped up one of their stories tonight before joining, which was a lot of fun. Still having fun playing that. I took a break from that this weekend to play Breakpoint. So Breakpoint has a tie-in with Rainbow Six Siege, where it's like they released this nerve gas on the island, and you're supposed to figure out what's going on. There's 11 missions, and a lot of them Jeff was cursing when he was in our parties, and I know Jason would have been cursing because there are a lot of you have to do this without being seen. But luckily it was if nobody sees anyone else getting killed, nobody sees anything. So it's you can just clear a base and then go handle what you need to handle. But the last mission is a nightmare, and Jeff was saying when he did it, there were a lot of people complaining about it on Reddit because and I complained about it in our group chat, is plane flying in Ubisoft games sucks. It's Jason, it's worse. It's worse than Wildlands.
Nope.
Worse. Okay. So you have to do
burn it all down.
You ever fly a plane in a Far Cry game? That shit sucks.
I was gonna say Far Cry is probably up there as the worst.
Far Cry.
So the mission, you have to extract this doctor, but you have to go in through the roof because they have the doors on the base of the building locked. So you can land your helicopter on the building. If you're good, nobody detects you, or they'll see you, or they'll be like, hey, what was that noise? And then they don't see anything because the helicopter's on the top of the building. Run down.
Everyone's like, hey, man, what was that?
You got to extract, and then you're working through all these motions, and you get to the plane, and you take off with the plane, and he's talking to you. And you know how you're just that meme where it's Captain America, and it's when you die to the same boss over and over again, it's just yeah, I know. And it's just yes, it's I've heard your dialogue 1,000 times, 10 times at least. And so you have to fly the plane to a landing area. The plane's been shot up and takes no damage. It takes a bullet to put it down. And so it just was bad. It was really bad. I was having problems. And so I would land, they put Jeeps out at the end of the runway on the right side of the runway. I'm why are there Jeeps here? I'm trying to land a plane here. Get this out of here. I came, to the side. There's plenty of room for me to land, but I'm coming in so hot at such an angle, just right. Wing clips a Jeep, and the plane blows up, and the mission's failed. And then that was one time I got caught on a rock coming up to the landing area and couldn't get the plane up on the landing area. I got stuck behind some trees and couldn't get the plane into the landing area. And then the last time I came in, I was coming in nice and slow, but I overshot where I had to stop and I went into some trees. I basically had to like give it gas and hit the wing on a tree to spin me around the tree so that I could then back up into the spot. It was beautiful. I recorded it.
That sounds like some Launchpad McQuack, Jason Statham transporter ass bullshit.
I hit the record button on that, buddy. I got that on video. It's
you
hilarious.
Should.
And so like I was talking to Jeff about it, and I'm like, if they just give me a checkpoint in the plane. I've already made it to the plane a million times and taken off. If I crash or the missions, you have to basically restart the mission, which puts you outside the base you have to break into. So you have to fast travel to a bivouac, which is like your camp where you can get a helicopter to go right back to the mission to infiltrate the base and then just go through the whole motion all over again. I beat it with like 3 hours left before like the event ended.
It's like one of those movies where it's a time loop. Moose is like on attempt 55. He goes, no. Guy pops up there, shoot him in the head. That guy in the knee, behind these two guys. If I throw a grenade that way, it'll go off just in time.
Yes.
You turn into Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. Gust of wind, cue the truck.
Yes. I'm coming down the stairs to the top of the building. I'm like, there's going to be a guy there. Boom, shoot him. Break through the door, shoot the guy. And then it was really weird. The scientist isn't there. Or you'll watch the scientist stand, then he kneels down and he puts his hands behind his back, all for the square to come up to say like release, to cut him loose. And so you cut him loose, and then I'm like, all right, we go downstairs, we hit the computer, we're going out this door because it's the fastest way I can get up around the spy tower to run past the solar field to come down the right side to come right by the plane. And it got crazy.
Moose has got running dialogue with the doctor now out loud. He goes, how many times have you done this? 55. Really? Yeah, we're going to die right now. Oh, really? Boom.
Yeah. I just want to say, I wish I could be as efficient getting in and out of a grocery store during a pandemic the way that Moose is able to just internalize the entire mechanism of this mission. It's kind of breathtaking.
So that I did Breakpoint, but previous to that on the weekend, I also Friday night I bought Smash Brothers, which I'd like to say fuck Smash Bros because I want to like it, but it is not new person friendly. Like if you're new to the franchise, it is not intuitive at all. So number one.
I think there's a way you can get to a tutorial, but it's not easy.
And the tutorial is not particularly helpful either. The only tutorial that really matters is being a 6-year-old with an N64 and growing up with it.
That's what I'm saying. That's like it's like Dark Souls games. I mean, whatever. But it's
Smash Bros is harder than Dark Souls. I'm just saying to learn.
Yeah, it is terrible. How I'm like, what do the buttons even do?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even give me a tutorial that says they should have a section that says, are you an idiot and haven't played Smash till this long? And I would say, yes, I am an idiot and I haven't played Smash till now. Oh, this is jump. And then just go through the motions with me so that I can memorize it. But anyway, so I'm trying.
Which Smash Brothers did you play? Nintendo 64. Skip tutorial.
Yeah, exactly.
You are a wizard.
So played that, and I also picked up the Ring Fit Adventures, which is an ass kicker. It is.
That shit ain't no joke.
No, it's not. Now, I would like to say I didn't come into it thinking it was a joke.
No,
but it kicked my ass more than I thought it would.
And you can set the level of how much ass kickery is going on.
Yes, you totally can. I'm definitely at the kind of start out phase, but anyways, that was a lot of fun. I had a blast with it. I was sweating like crazy after 15 minutes, and then the game's you should probably take a break so that you can jump right back in tomorrow. And I'm like, that's probably a good idea. I'm like, God damn, you're right. I'll take you up on that offer. And so But yeah, anyways, Ring Fit Adventure is a lot of fun, and that's been it. Yeah, a lot of Breakpoint yesterday. Jesus.
So who are you playing as in Smash?
So I'm watching a lot of tutorials, and I think I might just go with Mario at first. Just because I've watched this guy's video like 3 times, because he's like, this does this, and he like talks you through it, and you're like, oh, this is really cool to like understand like the mechanics of the game. And I'm like, I'm going to watch this like 20 times so I can memorize like what I need, like what each thing does. And so he mentioned like some players that are like really good if you're beginning with the game, and Mario's one of them. I'm like, I'm gonna pick the dude that he's the mascot of the freaking of the company, so I'm gonna pick him. So I think he'll be fun. And then they had, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was somebody else I was looking at too, and I was like, maybe I'll switch to him, at an off chance. I'll have to get the names, but there are some people that I do want to play as. Like, I'd love to play as Link. I think is it Simon N? The Belmonts are in it.
Yeah, Belmont's in it.
Yeah. So I'd like to maybe try them. They'd be cool to play as. I mean, I'd like to play as all of them, but my start is Mario, and just like focusing on what the hell you do in a Smash Brothers game to like. Are
you playing multiplayer or single player?
I'm playing single player. I just went and clicked like, here's a good spot.
Do the adventure mode, because you're gonna get really frustrated playing online with randos trying to learn the game.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna whoop my ass.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm into like. I have a couple of people that have been interested in teaching me Smash, which is cool. And the fact that you got it, and we know Jason has it, and we know that
Michaela has it.
Michaela has it.
And Jeff has it, but Jeff's like,
I don't trust Jeff. Doesn't know what it is. He thinks if you say get his Switch, he thinks he's talking about getting a branch to beat his child. That's what he thinks.
Oh, he's not from the South, so probably not.
I mean, I'm not either, but I know what that means.
That's true. That's true.
I had to go pick a Switch when I was a kid, but that's a different thing. And that's awful. But I'm interested in playing. I'm not interested in playing with anybody like that's going to be like, well, I'm good at Smash, and I'm going to show you I'm good at Smash every time you play against me. Because
not like help you learn along the way.
Yeah, like I mean,
like I feel like there's a difference. It's kind of like Dark Souls. Or like Diablo or any of those games where it's like, I'm not gonna like walk you through the game, but I'm gonna help you. Like whenever I call out with people, I ask them like, what are you expecting? What do you want to do? Just think of me as an extra weapon. Like, I don't move until you say we're going here, and then we go there and we do what we need to do. Like, I'm not gonna be running ahead of you, killing enemies so that you are bored out of your mind, not knowing what to do.
Yeah,
so
that's my problem.
I feel like that's more of a person you need to find instead of someone that just like
runs
through the area and clears everything out. And it's like, well, what did I even do?
Like when I picked up Under Night and Julian said he was interested in playing that with me. He likes fighting games, and I guess he said he's good at them, but like probably good as in like a casual player. I'm not really, trying to gauge his skill level because I haven't really played anything he's good at yet, because he wants me to play Guilty Gear and Dragon Ball Fighters. And when I told him that I was getting Smash to take an adult grudge out on some teenagers, he's like, oh, I will help you on this journey.
I am down for this.
So I'm interested in seeing someone with experience in these games, and like hopefully watch myself get a little better and learn like some basic strategies. I mean, I'm not looking to become MLG or FGC, but I'm more interested in like upping my skill to the point where I'm still having fun. But like I particularly picked Joker from Persona because Gabe and Zach talk so much shit on Joker, and they're like, he's not a very good character, so he has to come from not a very good game. I'm like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And so I said, I am going to get good with Joker. I'm gonna beat both y'all. And now that Reba's playing fighting games, I'm like, we're gonna get good at Smash, and we're gonna take the twins to school. She's like, yeah, let's do that. But we're not gonna like rub their faces in it. We're just gonna be like, don't talk trash to adults unless you're ready.
Yes.
I mean, we'll probably still take them out for dessert later, because we
You're
do,
nice. You're
you're
adults.
We do love those kids.
You want to put a cherry on top of that ass.
I already picture Matt. You crying? What? There's no crying in Smash.
Fuck out of here.
Wait. Are you actually crying? No, I'm sorry. You want ice cream? Ice cream? You want ice cream?
Stu will Angel have another chocolate bar.
So we basically, the long story short, at some point we all have to Smash.
Yes. Yeah. We need to Mario Kart.
Oh, that's a good interlude for a video during the edited version of this episode.
I agree. So, if nobody has any other business, what do you say we go to backlog? I mean, all right, all y'all are nodding. So, Michaela, let's talk about your backlog first.
My backlog was The Messenger. I played it on Switch. It is not my typical kind of game, but I picked it up during the year where I made platformers my reach genre. Back when I played Ori through all the way for the first time, when I played Celeste and Spyro and some Crash and stuff like that. And I just didn't get to The Messenger. I picked it up near the end of the year. It was a holiday sale kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm attracted, obviously, to the Ninja Gaiden aspects of it as a Neo fan, as a waiting for that Gaiden revival person. I love the gimmick of the 8-bit and the 16-bit parts of the game. It takes a little while to pay off, maybe like 4 or 5 hours. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how long it took me to get to the 16-bit part. And then, of course, later, where you're constantly switching back and forth between like little time warp zones between 8-bit and 16-bit past and future timelines. You really, of course, you get it in the aesthetics of the game, in the pixel art and the colors. But where it really, really hits for me is in the sound and in the music, which is phenomenal throughout the game. I thought they did a really good job with that. The story's pretty simple. I know some of you guys have at least played it. How familiar are you with it?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't made it all the way to the end. But
I played it up until like the 16-bit switch, and then I played it a little further, and I'm just like, you know what? This just isn't doing it for me.
So basically, the story obviously is you're a messenger, and you got to take the scroll to the highest point to stop the Demon King and the curse that has all but wiped mankind from the face of the earth because demons.
You chosen one. Take chosen thing to top of mountain.
80s movie or 80s game.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, really.
The humor is very self-aware. They make a Gaiden reference in the first hour, I think.
Yep, they do. They totally do.
The humor is actually the best part of the game. Beyond the gameplay itself, the humor. I live for the shopkeeper.
The shopkeeper.
Yeah, shopkeeper's good.
The shopkeeper rules. I will say
the shopkeeper is the best part of the fucking game. No contest. Much better than Quarble. Quarble can suck my ass.
Zig when you should have zagged. If all else fails, you could try jumping.
Yeah.
If anybody's watching, you can tell them there's input lag. Quarble.
Which one's Quarble?
He's the little demon that shows up when you die and revives you.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
And then takes your money.
God, fuck that asshole.
His little screens.
I'm Quarble's cousin, Quibble.
There's one where he goes, "Death prevented, Quarble MVP."
He also counts your deaths like a dick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. God, what an asshole.
Yeah.
And how much money he's made off of you.
Why the fuck is this trash-talking douchebag making me want to play this game again? No, I'm not. No, Quarble, you're not getting my
head. The shopkeeper is the best part of the game. Quarble can eat my farts.
Was the DLC free if you owned the game?
I don't know what the DLC is. I'm not sure what part is the DLC.
The tropical thing?
Yeah, it's
No,
a
I didn't do
tropical,
that.
like, yeah. I was watching a streamer. He switched. Well, he beat the game and then switched into the DLC today.
I have
But-
no idea if I have the DLC or not, or if I just need to download it. You know, I have no idea.
I think you do get it if you already own the game. I'm pretty sure about that. I think. Yeah. Let me look.
Maybe. I
To the
don't
Googles.
think I love the game enough to go find out really and play the DLC. Um,
Have you finished it?
I beat the Ninja Gaiden part and made it to the Metroidvania part. So the big gimmick with the game, so the first gimmick with the game is the 8-bit and 16-bit past and future timelines.
Yeah.
And then the second gimmick in the game is kind of like a bait and switch. So after like, I don't know, like an 8-hour old school Ninja Gaiden side-scrolling action platformer game, it turns into a Metroidvania game where you've gone to the underworld, you fought the minion of hell. I forget what the hell his name is. He's annoying. He was like the fastest boss in the game. He was the only one that really gave me any trouble. And then it starts like, it's kind of funny the way it loops. Like it starts by another messenger coming and he's from the future, and the messenger you are playing as becomes a new shopkeeper. He hands off the scroll. He's supposed to take care of this new messenger, and it's very funny and pithy. Because again, the shopkeepers are the best part of the game. Like my favorite bit in the game was don't touch the closet. And at one point, the shopkeeper's not in the shop. So if you keep touching the closet, he'll keep coming in and saying, no, I told you, really, don't touch that. No, seriously, don't touch that. And then it keeps going and it starts to make fun of itself, where it's like, are you just clicking this over and over again to see if the dialogue's going to loop? And then it's like, it's not going to loop. And then he keeps coming in. And he's like, if you keep doing this, I'm going to take away your ability to skip the text. He's like, no, seriously. And then I'm going to tell you a really long, boring story. And then he does. He tells you a really long, boring story and skips your ability to fast forward through the text.
Nice.
So it's kind of great.
Does he ask you if you're bored while he's telling the story? That'd be great.
Nah. His stories are the best thing though. He retells like old fables, but kind of fucks up the takeaway you're supposed to get. It's kind of great. Like he does the princess and the pea sleeping on the mattress type of thing.
Right.
So he's the best part of the game. But then the messenger becomes the shopkeeper, gets a new messenger, but his messenger dies. Like they fuck up and let him die. He wasn't revived in time. So the justification is you need to take the scroll back and finish this.
Time to come out of retirement.
So then it transitions from like that Ninja Gaiden game where you went through like, I don't know, 12 different areas, and it becomes a Metroidvania game where you're exploring, like you get a map. The scroll was a map the whole time. Like you've literally just been carrying around a map of the game.
Nobody looked.
Yeah, that's the shopkeeper's like, you were carrying this and you never fucking read it.
It's like the EY section.
It's a sacred
Persona.
scroll.
If you don't look
You're
in the
not
bag,
supposed to read it.
Exactly. But and what was in the closet the whole time? It was the shopkeeper's robes. That's what was in the closet. You're not supposed to touch the whole time. But you get this new like Tower of Time hub area where there's like 5 portals, but only 6 portals there, but only 3 of them are open to start. And basically you have a map now, and if you go through one of the portals, it throws you back out into a previous area you had explored during the Ninja Gaiden part of the game. But now it's a Metroidvania and you have more abilities. So you're basically trying to find different hidden paths on the map to look for these music notes, because there's this music box that controls the chaos curse that brought the demons, supposedly. It's very nonsensical.
Of course.
But
video games.
Some people might really like this if you were secretly hoping for a Metroidvania game at the end of this Ninja Gaiden game. But for me, the problem is that for 8 hours, I was playing a game where I got steady progression and rewards at checkpoints where I saw the shopkeeper upgraded my shit, got some funny dialogue, finished an area, fought a boss, started a new area, finished that area, fought a boss, started a new area. It went from being a very linear game with a constant sense of progression and reward to this, now you're in a Metroidvania game, which isn't a bad thing, but there's no organic sense of progression anymore because you're backtracking through areas you've already been in. So you are trying to find, because now there's rifts in time, so you can switch between the 8-bit and 16-bit, and some doors or pathways will be open in the future versus the past, or vice versa. But you are backtracking, and you're kind of just thrown out, and it's like, go find stuff here with very little sense of direction. The clues to find the music notes are actually very cryptic on purpose, and you can buy more hints from the shopkeeper with the currency you've been using to upgrade your character the whole time. But it's just like, okay, now I don't know where to go. I'm retracing my steps through areas I've already been through. I already had that cathartic sense of finishing the game when I got to the end of the story, but it's not the end of the story because the credits didn't roll, and now they're adding some bullshit here. It just didn't feel particularly motivating to me to push through the Metroidvania. I don't know if it's second half of the game or post game. I don't know what the community indicates as like finishing part of the game or finishing all of the game. I think you can kind of call it the second act. And I did play some of it. Like I found some of the music note stuff. I did admittedly look up where to go because I don't care for the cryptic crap. I don't like being like, okay, now I have no idea where I'm going. I'm just going to spend a couple hours hoping I find something and probably walk past it over and over again because I don't know where it is and it's not telling me where it is. So I don't like the lack of direction. Usually in a Metroidvania, you're uncovering the map in a somewhat organic fashion. You have a starting point and then you're branching out. Here, it's just like, go to a spot on a place you've been to before and hope you find something new.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, so
that would be annoying.
It's kind of defeating to me. So I felt like I had catharsis with the end of the Ninja Gaiden part, and then when the Metroid stuff started, I was just like, I don't feel motivated to push through this. So, I ended up playing in between like 8 to 10 hours of it, and I think that's enough for me. I enjoyed it until the Metroid stuff, and then I kind of felt like I was done.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things. If you've been playing one game and then all of a sudden it turns into, you're like, so what did I just do with this Ninja Gaiden game? Like, what did I just do? Why does it take 8 hours to earn my way into a Metroidvania? I mean, I'm sure at some point it probably wraps. Yeah.
I'm
sure at some point it wraps around to make sense.
Yeah.
But like,
if it was new content, if it was totally new content, like they were like, here, go forward from here and start.
Yeah, like keep moving on instead of like, yeah,
and like it's a clean slate. I think I would have liked that better. But it's one thing to say make totally new content for me. It's another thing to demand that of an indie dev with limited budget, resources, time, developers.
That's true.
It's easier for them to reuse assets. So. I can see where that is a tactical decision, but for me, it was a costly one because it didn't feel like it felt like I was like, ugh, now I have to go backwards and I have no idea where I'm going or why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense. That makes total sense.
Also, there was a decent amount of challenge in the game. I know we were talking about it might not be the hardest game. There was a decent amount of challenge, and at one I was playing this. While Jess was playing Hades a couple times. By the way, she got up to the Bone Hydra.
Nice. Way to go, Jess.
Way to go, Jess. On her second night of playing. So not bad.
That's not bad at all.
No, that's pretty good.
And she's enjoying
that's quicker than I did. Jesus
She's
Christ.
a fan of her first roguelike.
Welcome to the community.
GG, super giant.
But while she was doing that, I was doing some of the later game parts of the Ninja Gaiden part of the messenger. So of course there's an ice level, and that sucks.
Yeah.
But after that, it continues to be hard because then there's a cloud level, and when there's a cloud level, that basically means no floor.
Mm-hmm.
And at one
games
point,
like that.
There's a couple points in the cloud level where it just becomes like a fast-paced side scroller because a dragon is chasing you, and if it touches you, it's a one-hit KO. And literally, I was screaming, "Get this dragon out of my butt! It's in my ass! It's in my ass!"
Alrighty then.
Jason needs to clip that. Thanks. Clip that.
Mom, I'm sorry. No.
No, you're not.
He's not gonna clip that part.
You can make that
I
its own
feel
clip.
like
Mom,
we're
I'm
all
sorry.
the collective that GIF of Nathan Fillion where he's like,
Yeah.
Yep. Well, this dragon was really bothering me, and its nose just taps you in the ass and you die. So,
timestamp noted.
And then you have to
sounds like
fight
real
the
life,
dragon.
if you ask me.
Yeah, and then you have to fight the dragon while you're standing on clouds, and it can destroy the clouds that you're standing on. So I was getting really mad at the dragon, and then you beat the dragon, and
So
then
it turns into a Cuphead boss.
sort of,
Yeah.
kind of, and it turns from a red dragon into a blue dragon after you beat it, because apparently all along the dragon was being controlled, and now he's gonna be a nice dragon. I'm like, no, fuck you, you're not a nice
Whoa.
dragon.
Whoa.
And then he rescues you later.
First dragon.
It's hard to walk back a first impression.
Yeah,
That's true.
Also, his name is Manfred. The dragon's name is Manfred.
That's a good name for a dragon.
Manfred. I like it.
Manfred. No.
I think I'm not far past that.
And
point.
Fred, get your notes.
Yeah, you're
on
near
my
the
butt.
end of the Gaiden part of the game, because after the cloud section, you go to the underworld, and that's the final area of the Ninja Gaiden part of the game, because then you traverse through the underworld, you fight the lead soldier of the Demon King, who's really annoying, and then you go finish the story, and then it throws you into the Metroidvania. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you met Manfred, you're very near the end of the part of the game I enjoyed the most.
I do need to get back to it. I've always wanted to go back and beat it. It just obviously.
Picnic Panic is free
Backlog.
if you own the game.
Yes, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I'm
And
good.
you like Manfred up your butt.
Well, speaking of Manfred up your butt, I played Lords of the Fallen.
What do you think of it, Matt?
Well, okay, so
That's a good segue. I mean, I hear that's Harkin's middle name. Harkin Manfred.
I mean, probably. So I feel like that Nathan Fillion gift just. So Lords of the Fallen is trying to do a couple of things. It does Dark Souls combat, but it seems like it's trying to do Skyrim NPCs. And I only met one of them, and I frankly didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. And therefore I didn't. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I think I met three, and then the first one, it's like he's with you at the beginning. Then when you meet the first boss, he sort of like goes a different way because he's like, yeah, go die to that boss. I'm just gonna bounce, and I'll catch you on the flip. And then you find him, and he's walking around, but he says he's injured. I'm like, I don't trust this motherfucker.
Did he cut his hand off?
I don't remember. No, that's the monk you meet later.
Yeah, you don't meet the girl till after the monk.
Yeah, I met the girl after the monk.
She's at the gate.
Yeah, and I cut the monk's hand off because you had to, otherwise he was going to die because it was clear infection had spread, and I just know how that works just from working in healthcare in an ER. But the first dude that's with you, you end up meeting him in or near the cemetery, and he's just like fine despite being injured. But your character is like, but you're injured, and he's like, no, I'm fine, whatever. But then you meet the girl, and she's talking about they've blocked an entrance, but she wants this like heirloom key that's rusty or whatever. And you're like, but you're trying to go here. Why do you want this? She doesn't explain any of it. And while somehow when that happens in a Souls game, it's intriguing. Whereas here, it's just like, I don't
care.
So what do I do? And then you walk in and you're just in another boss fight. It's like, okay, fine. So the combat is very sluggish. I only tried one of the play styles that you're offered, and it was the cleric. So you're swinging a hammer. And it was easy to sort of figure my way around. I took some equipment off so I could move a little quicker, but you don't really see it like you would in a Souls game. I liked the way that you could sort of bank the souls you've got so you could level up later. Like you could just bank it, die, and you don't lose that. That was interesting.
Or you can gamble them, which was I always thought was cool. Where
I ended up landing is all of the bosses I fought got very samey. Like it was either a dude with a scythe who is kind of quick, dude with a sword and armor who's slow until you get to the second phase and knock his armor off, and then all of a sudden he's super fast and he's just on top of you. Or it's dude with a giant shield where you have to wait till he does a heavy attack so you can get around him. Not that any of these are surprises, because this is it's essentially all of Dark Souls 2, like in these first 4 bosses. And with each victory, I just wasn't getting the dopamine. And I think that's probably because I've played a lot of these games at this point. I mean, ultimately why I like games like Hollow Knight and Blasphemous and Salt and Sanctuary, one is they look beautiful. 2, they're a different spin on this in that they're 2D. They're more exploration based, but they keep the challenge of the combat fresh the entire way through. And I wasn't getting anything out of this game, and that's probably more down to my experience in terms of games I've played rather than the quality of this game, because ultimately, like, it has a look to it. It has a look I've seen a lot, where a lot of the, like, if you get your character like decked out in heavy armor, he kind of looks like a Warhammer figurine come to life, and that's kind of cool. I mean, Warhammer has a cool style to it, whether you're talking 40K or OG Warhammer. I mean, Games Workshop knows how to make warriors look cool. And this development team, and I always forget their name, I know it's the people who did The Surge.
Deck 13.
Deck 13? Anyway, Deck 13, they clearly...
Is it? Or is it C? Yeah, it's Deck 13 and CI games.
Okay. Well, this development studio can definitely make a solid effort, but I think playing every Souls game multiple times has probably made it so I require a certain thing that this isn't giving. Especially like after playing, Bloodborne and Sekiro, like those games are super fast compared to this. And Dark Souls 3 is kind of moving a mach or two quicker than this. Whereas, Dark Souls 2 is probably slower and more plotting than even Dark Souls 1. The Lords of the Fallen is just a shade faster than that, but none of the allure, none of the mystery is there. You're kind of you're put into an area that is kind of a labyrinth, but it's a labyrinth, your door's here, you have a labyrinth here, but you always end at this door at the end, no matter which path you go. And after that path is a boss. And it wasn't touching the pleasure centers in my brain, so I bounced. And that's kind of my thoughts on that. Now, I will say this: still going to play the Surge games because I think
Surge looks faster. Like, yeah.
I mean, and whether or not it is or isn't, like, it's clear this team knows they know their way around making one of these games. And I think because they're pulling from Dark Souls and Skyrim, and I've not played Skyrim, but that was the impression I got. I think pulling from games that disparate, because Dark Souls and Skyrim are very different as far as I'm concerned. I like the idea of them pulling from Souls in more of a future sci-fi sort of way rather than a retro fantasy sort of way. So I'll still try both of those games and see where I land. But if you've played a lot of Souls games, it probably isn't the way to go.
I really like Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah.
2 out of the 3 possible ways. I played Lords before I played any Souls games. Like, I played Lords back in 2015. I didn't play Bloodborne until 2017.
Okay.
So Lords was, but I see what you're saying, because I've gone back to Lords since I've beaten Bloodborne and Dark Souls Remastered, and it definitely feels. I mean, if you play as the rogue, you can move faster.
Okay.
But I see what you're saying. The game opens up slightly beyond where you are, but I get the slug. There's that right in the beginning. There's that corridor with the archers, and it's difficult to get through it because it's like you're moving like through quicksand, and they even telegraph the arrow, and you have time to move, and and you're still getting hit by it.
You don't have enough time.
But I mean, as someone who played it first, but I think as someone who's played the Surge before and after, you'll like the Surge more. I won't say you'll like the Surge a lot, but you'll like it more than Lords of the Fallen. I think it's unfair to draw from that because the Surge definitely moves way fast.
Okay.
And I think the Surge adds a element of combat not in the Souls game with their specific targeting. So like the basic thing is when you want to upgrade like your arm, you have to target an enemy's arm to steal the piece.
Okay.
Like if you kill him by bashing his head in, he won't drop an arm piece. He might drop
a head piece.
So like that kind of changes up. And also like some of the enemies might have a weak spot. That's the head. But you need a leg piece, which is armored. So it kind of makes it a little harder. Like, crap, he's going to be more defended there. So I think the Surge is a different beast. I mean, obviously, Deck 13's improved, which makes a lot of sense. They put this out, but I get what you're saying. Like, but as someone who played it the other way, I mean, you've had how many hours of Souls pre this? I mean,
more than a few.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the problem. I think with Souls-born games and Souls-like games, it's hard to go backwards.
Yes.
Like if you play, like in my case, the first actual FromSoft Souls-born game I played was Bloodborne. It made it very difficult. And then after Bloodborne, I played Souls-like. I played Neo. It made it very difficult for me to go back and play the first Dark Souls because it felt slow and old.
I mean, Dark Souls Remastered is a very good remaster, but also it's still an
older game, and it's not that it hasn't aged well. If you've played the newer ones, it feels more slow by comparison than if you had played it first. So like with Lords of the Fallen, you've played all these other Soulsborne and Souls-like games. Going backwards, I think it exacerbates the underlying issue in the game.
It's like when I returned to WoW last year, I tried WoW Classic because that's the first one I played. And the user interface improvements now, I was like, I can't play WoW Classic. This is bad.
I can only imagine, Jason.
You got so used to this comfort of all these quality of life things. You're like, I'm just gonna remember WoW Classic the way I remember it and not experience it and ruin the memory. So,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I kind of, when we picked that, I was more curious as to your thoughts. I kind of figured you'd have issues with it based on you're playing Lords of the Fallen after all the other Souls games.
Yeah, after
essentially.
all of them. Mm-hmm.
And not that Lords did something. I mean, the only thing they really do is the gambling system. I thought that was really cool. So if you don't know, it's you instead of banking your souls, you keep them and you get a multiplier. So you can basically hold on to them, and the further you go without losing them, the more you start earning like an astronomical amount if you keep them. But if you die, like a Souls game,
you've lost them. Yeah,
you lose them.
And the one thing I noticed with that was like, okay, I feel like this risk reward is really interesting. I just don't think it's interesting here, because ultimately, like, I found myself not caring if I risked. And that's more of like, you know what, that's down to, it's sort of like when I talk to people about movies, and like my neighbor, classic example, approached me. He's like, "Oh, I hear you're a movie guy," and he started asking me like about movies and stuff. And he started telling me like his favorites, and I could see why they were his favorites, because that was what he has seen. That was what he had seen, like that pool of movies. And I'm like, okay, well, you might want to go here. You might want to go there, because the more you experience anything, your critical eye, expands and it gets stronger. So ultimately it takes a little more to impress you. And that's not necessarily a bad thing when you learn the language of any type of art form or media. Exposure is sort of king there. And had this been, maybe not my first, but if it had been earlier, like if I had played this before Dark Souls 3, I might have finished it, or I might have platinumed it, or I might have done more, because I feel like if I had played this like immediately after when I platinumed Dark Souls 2, this would definitely be a different tune. I mean, and Dark Souls 2 is the most recent one I've played. Like, I haven't played Demon Souls Remastered or anything like that, which, PS5 hopefully in 2021, but if not,
if they're ever in stock.
Oh, follow Cheap Ass Gamer on Twitter. They've been in stock like 2 or 3 times the past month.
I know. It's just a pain.
It's annoying, yeah. Jason or Moose, who wants to go next?
I'll go, because mine's pretty quick.
Okay.
And it's not quick because I didn't like the game or the game's bad. It's just quick because I've started Blasphemous before, but I enjoyed what I played, and I wanted to dive a little bit deeper. And in diving deeper, I've enjoyed the game even more so. And now it is on the platinum list.
How far are you?
3rd or 4th boss.
Okay.
So, my thing about Blasphemous is like the roadmap for the platinum is like, my problem is like, I want to try and do it like the fastest way possible. You know what I mean? Like 1.5 playthroughs, something like that. There's a trophy where you have to beat every single boss without healing. So that's going to take some head banging on my part. And so I was just like, you know what?
You're a metal fan. You can handle it.
I know I can handle it. But my point was, I was like, when we picked it, I was deep in, kind of deep in Age of Calamity. I had some other games going on, and I was trying it, and I'm like, I can't dedicate time to this right now. I need like a window where I'm not playing anything at all, or just sit down and say that Salt and Sanctuary, line up some good 2D side-scrolling Souls-like games to knock out platinums for. But anyways, the game is great. The atmosphere is awesome. I like the the guilty aspect, like where you die, like it eats into your power bar. So like you have to go find your spirit to like redeem yourself. Or you could, if you don't do that, you could go to some dude and pay a shrine to like take away your guilt. So it's not like absolute, like if you don't get back to it or you get so far to where you have no power bar to do your special move, which I think is a talisman or a ring you put on that gives you your ability. And so I like that aspect of it. The parrying, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to get really good at the parrying, which is not too terribly hard to get good at, but just learning the different enemies and whatnot. But the level, the environments are really awesome. The story is really cool. I like the main character. I've been following this game since it was kickstarted, and I was like sad that I couldn't get in on the kickstart. So like as soon as it came out, like I bought it day one. What's that?
Oh, I was adding into yours. I apologize.
No, that's okay. I just didn't hear it. Sorry.
That's okay.
But yeah, so I think it's a great game, and I highly recommend anyone who likes Souls games to check it out, and 2D side scrollers. Like it's really good, and it's challenging. They did they released DLC later last year.
Yeah, DLC there's voice acting in it now, right?
That, and there's also like a new game plus type aspect to the game, which you have to beat the game to play the new stuff. Okay, is my understanding, but it's like I also believe I think it is free with the game. I think it's like Messenger's DLC. It was free with the game, so that was really cool. So yeah, it's just got a lot of style to it and a lot of challenge. So I look forward to like really dedicating some time to it, which might actually be soon. I don't know. We'll see. But that is just why I didn't really have too much to say about it, because I tried it and was like, you know what? I do want to keep playing it, but I want to platinum it, but I want to dedicate more time to planning that platinum. Because like there's a trophy where you have to turn in like keepsakes to this guy each time before you fight another boss. And I'm like, it's hard to like track that. So I was like, I'm going to have to write my own roadmap. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to have to go through and be like, you need to do this, go back and do that, do this, go back. You know what I mean? So, but anyway,
that was the reason I played it on Switch first.
Yeah.
And honestly, like looking once I think I beat the game before I saw a roadmap, and I started looking at it, I'm like, whoa, that's going to take some training. But I think like if you just have like a headspace of time, like me at the end of last year, where I'm just, you know what, I'm going to fucking do Persona 5 right now. Like that's going to be your moment. So I hope that happens.
Also like my other thing was like,
what's up?
We didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I was just saying, my other thing about it was like the healing. Like you can't heal in the boss fight. Like I would have to like unmuscle memory, like, you know, healing. Either that or see if I could burn all the heals before going into the boss fight, you know? And if you can't do that, then it's going to make it even harder.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of, like, oh crap.
It's just interesting. It's just going to be fun trying to draw out that roadmap.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the beautiful thing about that game is I feel like going through it again. I mean, much like Hollow Knight, like I'm kind of in that same space with that game. Like I want to go back through it again. I'm like you. I'm just like, I've had a lot of games where I'm just like, nope, I'm going to play that right now. And so Blasphemous keeps getting pushed back in terms of like the PS4 playthrough, but yeah, you'll get there. It's that game.
Right. I mean,
that game, it has some of the most beautiful, painful religious iconography influenced imagery I can even immediately conjure. Like all of it is very like Inquisition-y, and it definitely has nods to like more esoteric Catholic and Christian iconography that isn't really talked about, especially in today's times. But like it's fucking stunning, that game. Jason, you were gonna say something.
I declared the Switch I want to beat this game, but I don't want to worry about trophy system.
It is.
That's why I play roguelikes on there.
I mean, that's so true. Like when Hades comes out, I mean, I might double dip to throw him some money on PS4, but I'm going to be like, I'm not going to play it there because the fact that I don't look at trophies when I play it, like, I should have bought Blasphemous on Switch, but I think it came out on did it come out same day on Switch? Not 100% sure on that. I don't know why
I think it was I feel like I remember being on Switch first.
I don't think so. No, because
and I just remember like, you know what? I remember I have this on my PS4, but I could play Switch on the go. I'm just gonna get it here.
Right, and that's the other thing.
Yeah, I know. I was like, at that time I was like trying to crunch a lot of games in for our competition for game of the year at that point.
Well, I mean, it's also one of those things where it's like I've got a good succession of like beating games and relatively new games. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I would have like put a lot of time into that and fell down a rabbit hole. And I'm like, I kind of like this momentum where I'm playing, not quickly playing through games, but being able to play games and beat them and move on to something new. And it's not, quote unquote, a Souls-like game. You know what I mean? That was the other reason I kind of wanted to put it off. Like, I'm like, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, I'm like, okay, well, now I'm playing Immortals. I played Age of Calamity and beat it. Like, I'm trying to move on to, like, these other types of games. And I'm like, as much as I love the game and want to play it, I'm like, I want to save that. I basically wrapped it in a freezer bag and put it in the freezer for me to eat later, like that wedding, like that the wedding cake, you say you just
the wedding cake,
take it out and enjoy it at a later date. Like that's really what I want to do with it. So
it was simultaneously released on all systems.
Okay, so it was okay. That's cool. I think I just picked it up on PS4 because it was one of the indies we were talking about, Matt, probably.
That's probably So that brings us to the man, the myth, the New Jerseyite.
I gotta say, I'm glad this wasn't Game Club because I would have been pissed at myself for not finishing it. So I'm glad it's not Game Club.
How far did you get?
So, Pyre is a phenomenal game for the likes of others not named me.
Damn it.
I like the right. I think a game just with the right.
The religious NBA Jam, it's great, isn't it?
I would play that nonstop. I would just not sleep and play that straight through.
It's so fun.
I can't. The
story didn't do it for you though.
The talking. I tried to fast forward at a point, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go through the whole game like this. It's unfair to the game because they put a lot of effort into it. Like the art looks great, the dialogue is well written, but those breaks from the right just steered me completely away. I like the art style. But I did about 5 rights. So I moved through.
Yeah, so you got about mid-season. That's not bad.
So you didn't make it to. Wait, it's been a couple years since
4 or 5 rights.
You didn't make it to like the big right where you have an escape chance, correct?
I did the right after either 1 right or 2 rights after the rookie saw the Barker.
Okay,
oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't think you got to the point I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're mid-season. You didn't get to a final
I got
right.
like 2 rights. I made 2 rights and a left, and then straight.
Oh boy! So okay, am I going to be the one that has to make the Bugs Bunny made the wrong turn at Albuquerque joke here? Should I just do that? Okay, good. Now.
No, I mean, like you said, the religious NBA Jam was awesome.
Right.
Like I was getting annoyed that I didn't get shutouts all the time.
Oh yeah.
Because after I got my first shutout, I'm like, oh, I'm going for this every time.
Yeah.
It was like bob and weave, like speed up. He'd go
Nice.
one way, I'd like cut through. I'm like, yes. And I'd jump and I'd overshoot the pyre. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
So
Who
wait,
is your
who
squad?
are you playing with? Yeah.
I liked Jordy.
Yeah.
Jody.
Dario.
Dariel. That's my girl.
I couldn't think of the short version.
Yeah, Jody.
And I used
Jody rules.
I left Headwind on the bench a lot. And I used Rookie and I used Faye once, but I liked Tizo, the imp.
Yeah, Rookie and
I didn't
Tizo.
like Tizo at first. He's hard to maneuver.
He's fast.
Well,
He is fast.
I used Tizo the first
Fast
time.
as
You kind of
shit.
have to. But then once I got the upgrade where he flutters and it goes like insanely fast, I was like, oh, I'm sold.
Yeah.
But yeah, the story beats just didn't do it. It was like, all right.
Yeah. See, the story beats though for me, like it all ties into the gameplay because what you're ultimately doing is when you get to like Matt was saying, your mid-season, when you get to the end and you do the big right,
one of your team members
if
leaves.
you win that right at the end of this, you have the option to send one of your teammates to the surface. Like they can get out of what do they call it?
I forget what it's called.
What is it, Jason? What is the area you're in called?
Yeah, you're in like they're in exile. I can't think.
Yeah, exile. So you can get out of there, and that's great for you, like
for them.
But that means you're sacrificing a teammate in order to save them from being in exile, and the way your interactions with the characters develops your team, and then it feeds into the rights and all that stuff. So whether you're freeing characters or not at the end, and who you're freeing. Impacts the gameplay, but it also impacts the ending of the story because there's like good and bad endings where you have people who escape exile, you have people who are stuck in exile, and not only do you affect the outcome of the overall story, every individual character in the game, not whether on your team or opposing teams or just NPCs who don't participate directly in the rights, has different endings based on your actions throughout the game.
Yeah.
So those story beats all have a good payoff if you make it to the very end.
Yeah. And like it's it. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, playing Supergiant games, obviously Bastion had the badass narrator.
Yeah.
80s, the dialogue, that was great. I felt when I first heard the narrator in this one, it sounded like I was like, who dares disturb the powerful Oz?
I think this is my favorite narrator out of all 4 Supergiant games because that's one of their signatures is that they always have a narrator. Hades, it was more understated than in any of the other games. Like Transistor, he's like your only companion.
Yep.
Bastion, he's like the gravelly guy who's with you from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pyre, he fucking hates you. And it's great.
Yeah.
And the Nightwings win again. Damn it.
Yep.
He hates you.
Well, and like when I played Pyre, I want to go play it again because like having played Captain Tsubasa a lot last year, like I like the idea that people making sports games have looked at Pyre and said, "Oh, there's a way to do a narrative here." And Captain Tsubasa I fucking loved, and it made all of those characters just I wanted to hang out with them. Very like honestly, and I've not really had that since like originally playing Persona 5 and Pyre in the same year. Like both of those games just, they have a cast of characters, and getting onto what Michaela said about sending a player off after the final right, you feel that immediately. Like you feel that, like, all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, this is what the Bulls felt like when Jordan retired. You have to figure it out when you don't have Jody defending your whatever, you're defending the hoop. You have to figure out, how to work a utility when you don't have headwind. You have to figure out how are you going to lose all of Tizo's speed, and I'm just like, oh.
And it's the characters that you like most that are eligible to go, because it depends on how much you talk to them and interact with them in the journeys between the rights, who is eligible at the final right to even escape.
So, and aren't stats a part of it too?
Yeah, the ones you're ignoring aren't
they're
eligible to go. You're stuck with them.
Well, and then it seems like I remember, I think I got through 3 seasons, and I think Rookie was the 3rd person I got rid of, and he was so happy. Like he was like, oh, thank you so much. But then immediately in the next season, like I think somebody made a mention of Rookie being gone, and I was like, fuck, I can't deal with this. Like that, like that was what put me. I was like, I got to step away. I automatically regret everything. But I'm still glad. Did you tell Rookie to shave or not?
No, don't.
Marshall?
I didn't. No, I don't think so.
Okay, good. Let Rookie have his mustache.
Let him have that jank ass.
Let him have that. Let him have that handlebar stash.
I think for me the biggest disappointment was the right was finished and I couldn't play another one. I had to wait, and that it was just because I love the talent tree type thing, and then I didn't realize at first, but then I realized if I use Rookie more and he scores all my baskets, so to speak, he'll level more than the others. And I realized I was I should split it up and play that way, so they can all kind of level. But you nailed it with the NBA Jam thing. You can't just go full on sprint. You lose stamina and then you get annihilated. And I was like, oh, this is this. But when I finished and then I had to do the talkie, I'm like, oh, come on.
Once this pandemic's over, I'm gonna introduce you to a tabletop game, Jason. It's called Guilt Ball, and it's basically a dice rolling version of the rights, and it is fascinating.
Okay.
You can just keep playing the rights too. So there is a
we could play. I think we could play. There's online multiplayer, right?
Is it online or is it local?
Is that I didn't try it?
The versus thing is just playing the rights over and over again.
I'll keep it installed for that reason and just play the rights.
All right.
And it is multiplayer. I don't know if it's online. I know there's local.
We'll have to find out.
I think it opens up the whole roster. I don't know. I only did it after I beat the game. I platinumed the game, and I think part of the platinum is you have to play a versus match.
Yeah.
Maybe. Probably. I don't remember.
I can acknowledge its greatness, but it's not for me.
Point and click isn't your thing. And that's part of this game, when I describe it, it is a part first person point and click adventure, part sports game, which is basketball chess on fire.
I like
And it's a choice driven narrative adventure.
I like religious NBA Jam, but basketball chess on fire is
basketball chess on pyre?
No.
No. No.
Also, I gotta make a quick confession. I couldn't let go of Jody, so she ended up in permanent exile at the end of my game.
Yeah, she was the first one I let go.
I couldn't let go. I let go of Headwind first. I couldn't let go of Jody the whole game. She was key to my strategy, but also she was my best bitch. She ended up in exile.
Yeah, Headwind was. Yeah, it was Jody for me. Then it was Headwind, and then it was Rookie.
Yep.
And then I got my heart ripped out and couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Fuck, that game's good. I'm gonna play that game again.
It is
Jesus
very good.
Christ, that game's good.
And I like how the different characters are all drastically unique in how they play against, like the humans versus the demons versus the dogs versus the worms versus the
Tizo.
Whatever Tizo is. Versus the bog witch. The bog witch is one of my favorites to play as because she's fast and powerful. It's like if Jody merged with Ruki, you've got speed and power all in one.
Mm-hmm.
So she's deadly.
Yeah.
And then of course it's got the super giant art and music. So slam dunk. And then you can make the game painfully difficult for yourself. Like that's like Supergiant's signature: art, music, narrator, and there's always an option to make the game way harder than it needs to be. Like in Bastion, you had those like relics in like the the cupboard
distillery.
Thing.
Wasn't it the
I forget
distillery?
and then Transistor. I don't remember.
No, it wasn't the distillery.
Like
it was like it wasn't the distillery. The distillery was like your power ups.
Yeah, it was like a cupboard of stuff. I forget what exactly what it was.
But it was like it was almost like a church.
I know what you're talking about.
Sigils.
Yeah.
Sigils. That's what they were.
That's it. Yeah. And then Hades, you have the heats and stuff. Pyre, there's constellations, and you can turn on the different constellations, which give you different debuffs. And of course, one of the trophies for the platinum is turn on all 13 or whatever. Have fun.
And win a match. Yeah.
And win a match. Good fucking luck.
That's hard.
I will admit, I played the easiest team when I did that. I played the Worms team when I did that.
Smart move. Smart move.
I mean, hey, easy win, still a win.
Deck in your favor.
But no, well, I think what I love about Supergiant is it's clear that the people making the design docs for these games all come from a strategy game base. Like that's their foundation. I mean, I know like Giant Bomb, like they're like Greg Kasavin, I believe used to work at GameSpot. Well, I know he used to work at GameSpot. I don't know if Amir did, but I know Greg did. And Brad and Jeff and everybody that works at Giant Bomb is always like, yeah, of course, you can always tell that a Supergiant game is made by people who have spent a lot of time playing Dota. And they also come like Greg Kasavin, I believe, he did work at EA before founding Supergiant. And I think he worked on, like, he wasn't working at EA Sports. I think he was, I want to say Command and Conquer, maybe. I could be wrong. But I know like he comes from a strategy and foundation, and that's what they do. Because you could look at Bastion as a dungeon crawler, but the way each weapon feels, it just sort of gives you a new idea of tackling an arena. Same with Pyre, Transistor, where that's like 100% turn-based strategy, but every new move you get with that sword changes the way you can look at an arena. And then with Pyre, it's that NBA Jam game. Like it's not, everybody running back and forth. He's on fire because I think you have to have the ball in order to move.
Yes? Yeah, there's no AI controlling your other characters. You have to be actively controlling them.
Yeah, and so you have to sort of remember who does what, who has what abilities, speed, stats, everything like that. And that's why when I was getting into Guild Ball, I was absolutely enraptured by Pyre because it was a real time, I was getting all of that out of that rather than, and just watching Guild Ball and going, that's cool. So, and then Hades, roguelikes are kind of the ultimate strategy game a lot of the time. Because I'll go too long if I start going down that road. But yes, that's what I love about Supergiant is they accentuate strategery over almost everything else, followed closely behind by art and music. I'm sorry you didn't like Pyre.
Well, he liked half of Pyre.
I'm glad I tried it.
He liked half. Yeah, half of it's okay.
I'm glad I finally tried it. I just have to try Transistor now, but
Okay, so do you like turn-based strategy at all?
Yeah,
It's not strictly turn-based though.
It's
There's
not.
real-time aspects. It's kind
Yeah.
of one of my go-to examples for a Western version of what I describe as hybrid combat that we see in some JRPGs like your Xenoblades, your FF12, your FF7 remakes, where it takes real-time elements and turn-based elements and puts them together.
I like that. So
Yeah, you'll be fine. And are you interested in a hum button? Because there's a hum button in Transistor.
I've always wanted a hum button.
It's pretty dope.
Doesn't include it.
It's pretty dope. Just saying.
On a side note, if you want to check out the documentary or coverage that NoClip did of Hades, episode 6,
they released everything. It's so good.
Is out. Should be out. He was talking about having issues compressing it yesterday or Friday or Saturday. I saw his tweets. And so it should be out. I think he was saying it was going to be out today. Yeah, so I need to watch that.
I don't know if it was NoClip, but somebody's done documentaries of their previous titles too.
I think they did. Yeah, no, they did.
Yeah.
They've done all of them, except they did like a deep dive on Hades. Like the other ones are maybe an hour long. And
they were doing the Hades one as it was in progress.
Yes. Yeah.
Like they launched the first one, I think, the day they launched early access.
But it's pretty interesting. It's just cool to see like the team, how it's like evolved and grown up. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, those documentaries are very good. In fact, NoClip is a fucking fantastic set of videos. For a while, I was a Patreon of theirs, and I had to change that due to all this. So what next? What do we do now?
We could cover some news and then go to bed. There's a lot of news.
Yeah.
We can go through it quick.
That wasn't like an exasperation. I was just like, where do we start?
I sent a list to Jason. I was prepared.
Jason can start.
Do we want to talk about 9.5-foot vampire lady yet?
Yes.
I'm good. No.
Why, what's your problem with Vampire Lady? What's your problem with Vampire Lady?
Well,
I'm heightest. As a 5'2"
yes,
woman.
she is. As a shorty.
Well, yes. In the important news of the week, Capcom has disclosed the height of Thirst Trap Vampire Lady on Twitter. She is 9'6".
Jeez.
Yeah.
Including hat and heels.
Including hat and heels. So
I'm confused because like if a vampire is attacking me, she's got a good 5 feet. I feel like she can't really like. I mean, she could probably just stomp on you, but
let her.
I knew that was coming next.
Whatever, shmup.
That's fine.
Oh, I knew there was going to be a step on me joke in there.
I'm sorry. I am not ashamed to admit it. I think Lady Dimitrescu is fucking lovely. So there.
You know what else is short? The main character of Biomutant, which has a release date now.
Yay.
Yeah.
Biomutant releases on May 25th.
I'll believe it when I fucking see it.
I just saw an article the other day which said that they went completely dark to fix bugs without having to do crunch. So,
yeah, to minimize crunch. They said there's going to be a little bit at the end, but
right, which
way.
When you're trying to put something out, you're always going to put a little extra effort into it, So that's.
But yeah, it's 20 people. Experiment 101 is a 20-person studio, and they wanted to stay a small studio even after the THQ Nordic acquisition. And apparently THQ did the smart thing. They were very supportive of their small dev and let them have the extra time to QA the game.
I hope this game rocks.
Yeah. It's an open world game.
It looks so fucking dope.
Yeah, it looks amazing. It doesn't look like 20 people are making this game. It's a big game in scope. It wasn't, yes, QAing for bugs in an open world game with a 20-person team is a lot of what kept them underground for a little while. But if you read the article, they also said when they went dark, the script for the game was about 80 to 85,000 words. Now it is about 250,000 words. And a lot of that script has to do with the morality system in the game. So the way and this might be old information from when they were doing regular videos in like 2016, 2017, 2018, the way the game works is it's kind of like World Tendency meets Mass Effect, where the plot of the game is there's like some like oil toxic sludge substance coming up through the surface of the earth is causing the mutations in your character and the other flora and fauna. And you're trying to heal the world, basically. You can beat the game though without healing anything. You can be a dick to everyone, or you can be really nice to everyone. And what that extra script is for everyone to have the appropriate reactions to your actions in the game. So I really appreciate that. They're trying to make an actually choice-driven individual narrative where you can beat the game without helping anyone, or you can have like people who like you and people who don't, and the game's going to be very reactive and responsive, hopefully, to your choices. So they're QAing for bugs. They're really building out this morality system. I don't know if it's called like Aura or something. I forget exactly what it's called, but that makes me all very happy.
Yes.
I agree. I've been looking for this game. I've been looking for stuff on this game for like 2 years now. So I'm ready for it to come out, but I'm not going to believe it until it's on my PS4 crashing it. So
5 years for me. I've been watching since the original 2016 trailer. Like, gimme.
I found out about it when I was getting in. Like, it was like right around the Daemon X Machina announcement. I'm like, man, I want some more Met games. What are some good Met games? Then I saw a YouTube video. Great Met games coming out in 20 whatever, and that was on there. And I'm like, oh, I'm writing this down, watching for it, and nothing till now. So I'll take it.
It was announced around the same time as Greedfall.
Yeah, I have the first world problem of I have the collector's edition pre-ordered because I got it for 60% off, but it's
Nice.
PS4, so
There is no PS5 version, so you're fine.
right. So, but I don't have. I have the dickless version of the PS5.
Of course you do.
But you kept your PS4.
I did. Well, maybe though, one of you lucky individuals will get my physical copy, so I can just get it digitally on PS5.
Ooh.
I'll DM you.
Mine's already pre-ordered. I'm good.
I want pictures of a vampire lady.
You know what? I've seen. It's funny. Like, I've seen a lot of, not to dwell too much on the beautiful vampire lady, who I would let destroy me. I've seen a lot of people that I respect say things like, you know, all these people that are out here thirsting for the vampire lady, like, there are porn games that come out every day on Steam. Why don't you play those? It's like, that shit fucking frustrates me, because everybody knows that porn serves a different purpose than beautiful vampire lady just being a villain in a game. We don't come to porn for that. Nobody comes to porn for that, as far as I know. At least I don't. What?
Are we not doing phrasing, or are we just?
No,
I chose my words. I chose my words.
Oh, I know he's choosing his words.
Michaela's out. Michaela's out. But,
Next.
like,
long awaited.
porn doesn't serve that purpose. Anyway, go ahead.
Destruction All Stars is February's PS Plus PS5 game, which was pushed back, I guess, so more people can play it on launch.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I think they're hoping it becomes the next Rocket League.
Or Fall Guys, something like that.
Fall Guys. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Such a simplistic concept that just seems so cool. I mean, I grew up playing Destruction Derby on PC, so this looks like a blast. So we'll find out this week how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox Series X had its first console exclusive, the Medium, and the scores were about medium.
Although I did see an article saying that it's already making its money back.
Yeah, they already recouped the development cost.
Yeah, which is good.
A lot of shitty games make their money back.
Yeah, well, that's true too.
I've seen very split opinions. Like ACG I usually agree with his opinions, and I haven't played this game. So it was surprising to me how hard he was on the game. And then, of course, a lot of the people I follow who mainly play on Xbox are coming out strongly in defense of this game. So it's hard to see the truth without playing it. And it's not the kind of game I would play anyways. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to go with mixed bag game.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a reveal of the medium, but I could not tell you what I don't even remember like what was in it. And I've not gone and looked at what's in it anyway. And I've seen like quips about it on Twitter, but that's about it. Like, and I don't have an Xbox, so. Oops.
I don't know when did this happen? Returnal got delayed. I don't think we mentioned it last week. It's just pushed back a month.
Yeah.
March 19th.
Think that's going to be a shmup?
30th.
I think it is. I mean, their style.
That's what Housemarque does. Is they do
right?
shmups.
I mean, it's just a
We already know it's not.
You don't look at that gameplay and go, "This is a shmup."
It's the roguelike shmup.
Tomb Raider celebrated.
What's
Tomb
that?
Raider what?
Tomb Raider celebrated its 25th anniversary.
Wow,
awesome!
That's awesome.
Yep, and
I think they said they were going to have some stuff for it.
Yeah, they announced that they are working. So Crystal Dynamics and probably Eidos Montreal are at work on what comes next for the franchise. So the reboot trilogy is done. What they're hoping to do now is somehow unite the concepts of the original Tomb Raider games with the concepts of the trilogy reboot, which was more like Uncharted with Lara Croft.
Yeah.
And bringing those two timelines and gameplay styles together. They also announced an animated series that takes place after the reboot trilogy for Netflix.
Cool.
Also another anniversary, ID Software, 30 years.
That was today, yeah.
That was today.
So happy anniversary to them.
Jesus.
Isn't Resident Evil 25 years too? Because they're doing a cross celebration.
Yeah.
Well, not celebration, but there's an event in the Division 2 where you can get some raccoon costumes.
So how's Judgment Day looking for you, Moose?
Dude, they have not said anything about what's going to happen at the end of the year, and me and Muffins have been talking about it, and Jeff hasn't come back to it since we did the manhunt last week, and it's just been like, yeah, it's pretty much looking like Judgment Day is going to be like delete,
Cool.
Unless they come out and say like something, drop a bomb, which I don't feel they're going to do. So I think it'll be good. I think it'll be fine.
Cool.
Reddit temporarily controls the stock market.
Yes, which is
this
nice.
is so fucking good. I love this story. Fuck rich people, man. Like seeing all those assholes on financial shows going, this fair share stuff is bullshit. Just
Did you see the meme of Forbes' richest people? 3 was Jeff Bezos, 2 is Bill Gates, 1 was potato_in_my ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Word.
Oh. That is it's just insane. It's so insane.
I
love it.
My favorite thus far has been a picture of the goose from Untitled Goose Game terrorizing the child in Untitled Goose Game, and it is under the child it says Wall Street Insiders, and then you see the goose spreading its wings all confidently, and underneath him it says Redditors committed to the bit. This is such a beautiful thing. I love watching this because it's like the end of Coming to America, or no, not Coming to America, Trading Places.
Yeah.
Like, in real life.
They're the ones controlling the stock market.
Yeah. Turn those machines back on. It's just like, nope. We figured out a way to make the money the way you do. Now we're playing your game and you're pissed.
I mean, it's coming down. I think we're past the peak here.
Oh,
of when
definitely.
it's coming. We're on the downfall,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, I think we do just got to mention this does not help GameStop or AMC or any of the other companies affected by this.
No, you're right.
GameStop's closed by the end of the year, anyways. They're
Probably
done.
they're going to be closing multiple stores.
They're
I can
done.
see that happening.
Yeah.
And then Switch surpassed the 3DS in sales, 80 million units.
Jesus fucking, that's fast.
Yeah.
That was really fast.
And Animal Crossing New Horizons went to 31 million.
It's like something like 40% of Switch owners own Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that's an attach rate. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And last and definitely least, in news that I knew I'd read, it's just a matter of when I would read it, Google closed down their internal Stadia game development.
Which sucks for those developers.
Yeah, I was gonna say
nobody is surprised.
Nobody, yeah. I mean,
that's the thing. Like I chuckle because I'm not surprised, but right, it is saddening because it's 150 instead of it affects 150 developers.
And like Jade Raymond was kind of helming that.
And I don't left the studio because of that. She's leaving because of that.
Because she was in charge. She was helping to spearhead the in-house development efforts, I believe.
Yes, yeah.
And now that they're not going to be making their own games, they're just going to be focusing on third-party games. It's like, why are you even still trying to keep this service alive? It's kind of a failed experiment, but they're slowly closing down parts of it, but haven't just closed down.
They'll close this time next year. The whole thing will be closed down. They're not going to be able to. They're not. It's not going to keep their interest anymore.
Well, I mean, are there any Stadia exclusives?
No, that's kind of the point of this move.
Right.
Like there was gonna be. They had one, I think, at launch. Yeah.
Because I think
Guilt by Tequila Works. GYLT.
Did that come anywhere else? So.
But that wasn't an in-house development for them.
No, it was Tequila Works
for the platform.
But
I don't even know if they had. They must have had some in-house.
They had to have something.
They were working on games. I think they announced some. So the whole Google Stadia thing wasn't. Their big show that they did was at GDC 2019. I think.
I remember watching it. That was where I said I would pre-order that, and I did, and then I canceled it.
Wise decision.
Well, I canceled it just because like the money wasn't there, and I'm just like, you know what, I might be ahead of myself here. So
there's one thing. The problem is pre-ordering it doesn't get you the games. You still have to buy most of the games. It had like games on it. That's the problem. Yeah. It's not Netflix for games. It's like Blockbuster on the internet for games.
Yep.
But yeah, so they're offering those developers jobs within Google or trying to, but the problem is they want to make video games. That's what they were doing. That's what they want to keep doing. So they're probably going to be looking at relocating, which is difficult geographically.
They want to keep
Jade Raymond ain't going to go work on Sheets, y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true.
There's going to be coding jobs at Google, but it's not going to be video games.
Right. That's what he was saying. They're going to try and work some of them inside the company. You know, so it's just interesting. I mean, like they like everybody was like, how is this gonna work? How is this gonna work? And they were just like, oh, we're just gonna keep trucking along with this. And then it came out and it was like terrible. Like, yeah. And kind of like NVIDIA GeForce Now kind of took its lunch. But then once that went like official, all the games got pulled off of it because it wasn't in beta anymore, and it was kind of like, if we leave these games on here, they're kind of taking money from us.
And you know what? Anybody who's still limping along in a couple of years, I'm going to say this now, Project xCloud, whatever the fuck it turns into, is going to eat them all because Microsoft is building their ecosystem and they've got the infrastructure and they've got
that's true. Yeah. That's true.
That's true,
yeah.
Why has Stadia lasted this long?
It still technically exists. It just has no games of its own.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still play Destiny on it.
And a controller that didn't ship with it on launch day.
And you still can't use it on there's certain, Chromecast that you can't even use it on.
You need the newest model Chromecast.
It's weird.
Like I've had a Chromecast since Google announced it. I've had multiple Chromecasts.
Mm-hmm.
But you're telling me now, if I were to get Stadia, I need, like, so I can't go to a different room in my house because I can only play it on the one Chromecast that I get.
Mm-hmm.
You're really making this whole accessible anywhere kind of limited to not everywhere.
Accessible anywhere as long as you paid us, motherfucker.
Like, if the service was better, like that's kind of cool because we have on 3 TVs, 3 Chromecasts. So it would have been cool. Like I could just take my controller and connect to a different Chromecast. Like that would be a cool No, you can't.
Well, you could, but you just got to pay more money, Jason.
Right, but I already have the Chromecast, but
you just need a Google House basically, and then you're fine.
Maybe.
And then it's only in your house. If you want to leave your house with it, you're kind of fucked again.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
just play Switch.
Feel bad. Feel bad for the dev.
Look, I can play Hades anywhere. Look at this.
They must have sold Jade Raymond on some shit because she didn't get to that position by being dumb. But
yeah,
I've never seen following industry news for so long. Like nobody gave this any hope of succeeding. She's like,
I really think the problem was they should have delayed the launch of it, focused on the games, focused on the infrastructure a little bit more, made sure they, I don't know, had controllers to go to every person, made sure that it was easy for all the damn, why did I have to wait? Why did people have to wait for codes?
Why was it
like it should have been right when you turned it on?
I think their whole the subscription model just.
Here's what they should have done. They should, like, Gmail was in beta for like 15 years.
Close to it. Yeah.
They could have just said, you know what, we're going into this, we're gonna try it and see how it goes. So this is a beta.
Yeah.
And then figure out a way to beta test that. And that way it sort of negates all of the, hey, this doesn't work right. Well, that's because it's a beta. So
I mean, I was also trying to go in that direction because, like, if they would have allowed her and the developers for the in-house game company to develop some games to launch with it, instead of us going, what exclusives launched except the one that isn't even like them? You know what I mean? That was like Microsoft launching the Xbox One Series XXXX, like, with no launch title. And now it has the medium, and Halo isn't coming until later this year.
Yeah.
So
I tried Stadia. As someone who has multiple Chromebooks, I got 6 months free.
Right.
It works, but like, would I have paid to put? Like, I played Grid, I played Destiny, or tried them. They worked fine. Like, I ran an HDMI cord from my Chromebook to the TV. It was a cool concept, and like, if it carried through, like, sure, just having the Chromecast and the controller, but like, also I played because I had 6 months free of Pro, and I got these games for free. But once my Pro lapsed, there was no games. I have to buy games. Like,
you already bought games. You got a backlog.
No, it was.
I know. It
was similar to PS Plus. Like, when the Pro subscription was over, that's it. Like, I didn't have those games anymore. Yeah. So it's like, all right, now I have to buy
another
something else.
Right. Yeah. Like,
no,
digital
it makes sense.
Ownership being sketchy.
At least with PlayStation Network, you get more out of it than just like the ability to buy games to play on that service. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
or even just like Game Pass. You buy Game Pass, you play those games. It's Game Pass is Netflix of games.
Yeah, you're not paying per game, which is what you were running into. Like, they had a couple, like, one was a fighting game, I forget which one. They had 2 titles that were
Dead or
free
Alive,
to play.
I think.
Dead or Alive, maybe, yeah. On the service, there were 2 that were free to play, but everything else that was in that library you had to pay on top of your subscription fee, and the library wasn't that big. Like, not even having in-house produced games, the library of games that they were offering was very finite. What was it, like 30 games or something like that? I don't think I'm exaggerating. It
Right.
was
Which goes back to Matt saying, and started out as beta, or wait to release it in beta for a while till the developer can at least get a cool looking game to say, oh my God, I might actually want to get Stadia, but it's hard to catch that lightning in a bottle,
I also think the untold and ultimately probably unknowable story here is how long was the studio headed by Jade Raymond formed? What was it working on? And what did Google want them to make? Because ultimately, I'll bet you Google said, we want you to do this. Because none of us are stupid enough to say any game company or publisher isn't looking at something like Fortnite and being a little jealous.
Well, yeah.
And I'll bet you Google was like, make us a Fortnite. And they were just like, well, we have these ideas. And they're like, nope, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. But ultimately, I don't think Epic knew Fortnite was going to be what Fortnite is.
No.
There's no way you could predict that.
That's kind of like Fall Guys, although Fall Guys is kind of dying down now.
Or Rocket League.
You think they knew?
No, they
or
didn't.
Overwatch or any of it.
I mean, that's how people talk about the Avengers game, where Square comes out talking about it, how they're gonna keep adding content as it goes, expecting it to catch on, and it's you can't expect that for a game. These games just happens. Among Us that game's been out for a while, and then people just latched on to it, which is fine. I mean, Animal Crossing has its fan base, but it exploded even more because of an outside influence. But then Fortnite and Fall Guys, it's in Rocket League, it's all kind of the same stuff. It just happens. You just happen to release a game at the right time.
I mean, to give Epic credit, they update Fortnite 3 times a day, it seems like.
But to give them credit, they do no shooters. So when they put out Fortnite,
they're out there trying to make a good game. They're not out there trying to make a service they can make money off of. I think that's
they made enough money. Make the Save the World gameplay free. I want to try that.
Well, you got to pay for that. I think Blizzard expected WoW to be successful. Do I think that they launched WoW thinking this was going to be 17 years down the line, still being
17 years?
They did not plan this. This just happens.
You think they expected it to have the fastest launch with this expansion all the time later, and it only got beaten by Cyberpunk, which now it's oh, well, WoW's still going in Cyberpunk.
Yeah. I mean, there have been people that have tried to capitalize on the WoW thing, and they've used slam dunk properties to do it. Star Wars: The Old Republic, that went free to play in a year, less than, and it's just it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
and from what I know about that particular MMO, it was interesting pretty much the whole way through.
Oh, it was fun. I gave it a good try. I mean,
the only one that still does pay is Final Fantasy 14.
I think Guild Wars 2 actually is.
It's still pay.
It's still pay.
I think there's a couple. There's paid MMO.
There's a couple that they're coasting, but they're never going to reach. But I think with those that are still going, they realize they're not going to reach WoW level. So it's why bother trying to But all these new, you hear about 3 to 4 every year that this is the new WoW killer. It's settle down, son. Don't come out swinging that much.
Yeah. It's anyone who's trying to say the next shooter is the Call of Duty killer. No,
you don't want to
You'll beat Call of Duty that year, but you will not win that war.
Maybe in Japan you'll beat Call of Duty, but not in the West.
Right? Yeah.
Well, next week we have no, not next week. Is it next week? No, but now we are in Game Club. which
Yeah,
is
that
Foul Play.
starts technically next week, even though most of you have already started playing it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Y'all is too proactive for my shit.
Got a head start. Foul Play is a lengthy 5 hours.
You can play that on a Saturday. Get a couple of beers, order a pizza.
Only 5 hours? Because like there are multiple plays that.
No, there's multiple plays. I think you can beat it in as little as 4 to 5 hours.
Like I think you can beat one play in like 4 to 5.
No, I looked up how long to beat, and it said like 4 hours on average.
Yeah, dude, it's not that long. It's not a long game.
But I was when we picked this game, I was like, I want to play it by myself, and then I want to experience it co-op because I want to see the 2 different flavors of how it plays.
So maybe we should try and work like beating it in the first 2 weeks here, and then maybe doing some co-op later on.
We shall see. I mean,
Completionist is 11 hours.
Okay. Well, Reba and I started playing it, and we were just like, whoa. This is we have some thoughts about that. Reba has some thoughts to the point where she has said the word she might sit next to me.
I was gonna say she's gonna sit next to you, buddy. I don't want to hear her thoughts unless she's sitting next to you.
Exactly. And I'm like, if you do that, that'd be pretty awesome. And she's like, I might. I'm like, awesome. I have to get a headphone splitter.
The only time you'll use a headphone splitter.
Right? I have to get a headphone splitter and
or you could just go to earbuds and suck it up for that one episode.
There you go. Just be like,
look, headphone splitter built in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do
just
that.
saving you some money, man.
This I mean, I'll do that. I'll do that on a road trip. I will not do that sitting here. I'm in my house. We will do this right.
All right. That it?
Yeah, I think that's it. Let's get us out here. At Story Route Zero, we have some cool friends who do some cool things, and I'd like to tell you about them. Phoenix Overdrive uses the power of games and gamers to help heal sick kids through the charity Extra Life. Phoenix Overdrive fundraises for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all year, every year, and the fund culminates in a 24-hour gaming marathon. Find out more about their events and projects online via Facebook at facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive or on Twitter and Instagram at PHX_Overdrive. You can also join the Facebook group of Pawn Stars at facebook.com/groups/PO Nation in order to share and discuss all the latest in nerd culture. They've also got a podcast, Nerd Overdrive, which you can see weekly at youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. You can also catch it on Facebook Live or twitch.tv/PHX_Overdrive. That podcast is also published on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. You want merch? They got merch. Merch can be ordered from tinyurl.com/PHXODmerch, a portion of which goes to their fundraising efforts. Join the nation and be a hero to sick kids, as El Capitan Ray Osorio, Lee the Maestro, and Becky, the lovely queen of the guild, always say, #Rise Above. Thank you for listening to Story Route Zero. We hope you have enjoyed your time here as much as we've enjoyed having you. Once again, questions, concerns, complaints, pictures of pets, or favorite recipes can be sent to storyroute0@gmail.com. You can yell at us on Twitter at StoryRoute0. Rate us and review us on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you may have found us, as it helps with discoverability. If you'd like to hit us up individually, you can find Moose Cool at Sven, that's SVHENN on Twitter, PSN, Instagram, and of course Twitch, streaming games. You can find Jason Marshall writing at obelisk.co. You can also find him on Twitter at GimpyJ with 2 Y's at the end, as well as PSN, Instagram, and Twitch. He also has his own website, whereisthepausebutton.com. You can find Michaela Crescione doing all sorts of writing at obelisk.co, as well as on Twitter at RedXMod. My name is Matthew Keel. You can find me everywhere I'd like to be, at @infinite_rewind. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, that's PSN, and I also have my own website, infiniterewind.com. Be sure to check us out at all the places. You are always welcome, and you will always have a seat waiting for you on this ride. Thank you for listening, but for now, it's back to the real world for us. So we will see you on the next one.